Hey everyone, Patrick Robertson here, back at Momentous Building. Today we're going to talk about how we replaced some windows in this residence and why we went with a new construction window rather than just a remodeling window. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please give us a like, share, and subscribe, as we're going to be throwing out this content twice a week, every week, and that way we can help people out here and spread the news of the right way to do construction, how we do it here at Momentous Building. Alright, so let's just dive right into this and break down the difference between a remodeling, replacement window, and a new construction window. So a new construction window, that's actually the window back there on the second floor that we replaced. It has the whole brand new framing of it. So it has the framing of the window, it has the actual glass that goes in the window, and you have to put a brand new frame in it, okay? Now a remodeling window, it would actually sit, so if this was the existing window right here, it actually sits in the actual window frame itself. And the problem with that is that on the older homes, now we're relying on windows with their frames that are 30, 40, 50 years old, sometimes even older, to put this brand new beautiful window in. And these remodeling windows, they're custom sizes because they have to fit in the actual existing window that is there. So to put one of these windows in, what do? You pop the sash out, which is basically the glass in the frame out, and then you put it inside, and then all you're left with is the existing window frame, which is a wood frame around it, and then you put this new window in there. So now you're basically putting a window inside an old 40, 50-year-old frame. That is awesome because what it does is it saves down a whole bunch of labor, because now you can do a window replacement in an hour, 2 hours, maybe even less or more, depending on some of the little details. However, the problem with that is that now we're, like we said, we're relying on window framing that is 30, 40, 50 years old. Sometimes that's good, sometimes it's bad, but let me tell you the negatives about it. First off is energy efficiency, right? So the part where your home loses the most heat or cooling is through your windows and doors. Now, we have manufacturing processes today that we can have double and triple insulated glass. So now the glass section isn't actually the limiting factor of your heating and cooling loss, but it is actually the joint or the threshold in between where your walls are insulated and then your window starts. So the actual window frame is your limiting factor of your energy loss, heating and cooling loss in the actual structure. So what we're doing when we're putting in a new remodeling window is that we're relying on that old thermal break right here in between your framing of your home and the framing of the window. Now in older homes, that was just left as a gap. There is no insulation. Sometimes, maybe if it was the 80s and 90s, they put some spray foam can insulation in there, but it's not as good as today. Also, that insulation degrades over time with the heating and cooling expansion contraction, so there's that too. And then what we do is, if we're doing a remodel, so we have your existing framing, and then we have your window framing, and then we're putting in a third frame for the remodeling window. So now we have two different distinctions of gaps in the part, creating an area where it's the highest chance of the heating and cooling loss for your structure. The glass might be good of your remodeling window, but now we have these different areas over here where the actual heating and cooling is coming out. This is why sometimes you feel a breeze coming in through your window. And so that's the biggest part, is that the energy efficiency of a remodeling window is not that great. Now, if you look online or these different resources, you're going to see that the actual window is really energy efficient and all that stuff, which it is. But we're not talking about the window itself. We're talking about the joint and the meeting of the home and the window frame. It's that space in between that's the issue. So the second thing is that why we don't like it is that we're relying on the old construction methods and old construction members that were made 40, 50, 30 years ago, depending on how old the home is. And what we found right here, this is a very old home in a historic part of Katonah, New York, and we have this is the bottom of the window. So this would be the window sill right here that we have, and the window and the glass would be right here. And it would sit on this member. And as you can see, there is a substantial amount of rot over the years that has eaten this piece of wood away. Now, it's not completely rotted through, but it's definitely damaged and it's definitely old. And I don't like the idea of putting a brand new remodeling window that might be these days, anywhere between $700 and $1,000 custom fit in here, and then putting it on here and saying, hey, that window's going to last 30 years. But then you have this old, degraded, leaking framing that is not going to last 30 years. And you're going to have this damage and decay. The window might start to sag over time as the wood decays more. And it really just creates some issues. So, yes, you're going to save a lot of money up front with putting a replacement window in, because although the window might be 15% more, you're going to save, 50 or 70% of labor. So net, it's cheaper. It might be $400 or $500 cheaper per window, which is a substantial amount, especially if you're doing 10, 15, 20. However, the longevity of the structure is always what we go for, right? Here at Momentous Building, we're looking to build for the next 30, 40, 50, 100 years, right? That window we're putting in, I hope to God it doesn't get touched in the next 30, 40, 50 years, right? I want the next contractor to be in a position where we are right now, where in 50 years, the technology is just better, so they have to replace it for it to meet up with the standards of the existing home. That's what we're going for. So that's why we do always new construction replacements, because we're going to replace this whole entire thing. We're going to put a brand new one in. We're going to put materials in there that are going to last a lot longer. They didn't have, thermal protection tape. They didn't have the proper spray foam that we do. Alright, so I just wanted to pause the video while we had the compressor on so that way you can hear my voice. But in the long short of it, guys, we want to build here. I'm probably going to get a lot of hate in the comments below talking about spending too much money that I didn't need to spend, and it's not that rotten, it's not that bad. But at the end of the day, we're here to provide the best product we possibly can, and not the cheapest product. That's not us as builders. I think that mentality should be taken up more in the industry, because I see a lot of cheap work going on, and then 5 and 10 years the homeowner's having to replace it or do it over again because the pain was not eaten up front, and now they're going to save up that pain for more costs down the road, and that's what we're trying to get rid of. So if you did like this video, if you have any more questions on remodeling windows versus replacements and the real nitty-gritty, or if you're wondering why on your house that which direction you should go in, please give us a comment below. We're more than happy to schedule a call, reach out to you guys, and have a quick chat. Until then, this is Patrick Robertson at Momentous Building. Looking forward to catching you on the next one.